Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. On this week's program, we look back on the past year with Jerry Kuckelman from Manhattan, the immediate past president of the Kansas Livestock Association, and meet Phil Perry, a rancher from Perry, and the current president of KLA. We'll also have features from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Farm Bureau, along with a weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association and market information from Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom. Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com. In agricultural news from agview.net, the Kansas State University Department of Agriculture Economics announcing it has surpassed its $2 million fundraising goal for the Barry Flinchbaugh Chair in Agriculture Economics. The chair honors the late Flinchbaugh's contribution to food and ag policy across the state and the nation, as well as his contributions as a teacher, mentor, and influencer. According to department head Dr. Alan Featherstone, he said history records Flinchbaugh's legacy as an influencer and educator in agriculture policy and economics, and he leaves a lasting impact on the department, university, and the agriculture industry. He added that Barry's dream was to endow a chair in perpetuity that would provide risk capital to continue to build upon the national and state legacy that he established. Featherstone says the chair will be used to recruit and retain the highest quality faculty within the Department of Agriculture Economics and provide that risk capital to allow innovative activities in agricultural policy. Well, the Federal Trade Commission ordering 9 large retailers, wholesalers, and consumer goods suppliers to provide more detailed information on supply chain disruptions. The information will also show how disruptions are causing hardships for consumers and harming competition in the U.S. economy. The orders are being sent to Walmart, Amazon, Kroger, C&S Wholesale Grocers, Associated Wholesale Grocers, McLean Company, Procter & Gamble, Tyson Foods, and Kraft Heinz. The companies will have 45 days from the date they receive that order to respond. Now, the order requires that the companies detail the primary factors that disrupted their ability to obtain, transport, and distribute their products, and the impact of those disruptions, and the most affected products, and the steps taken to alleviate disruptions, and how that the companies allocate products among their stores when they are in short supply. And the National Pork Producers Council this week thanked the Biden administration for extending to February 28th of next year a waiver for commercial truckers from the federal hours of service regulation. The rule limits truckers to 11 hours of driving time and 14 consecutive hours of on-duty time in any 24-hour period, and also requires prescribed rest periods. Now, at the start of COVID-19, back in March of 2020, the FMCSA included livestock haulers in an initial emergency declaration that provided for exemption from those hours of service regulations for commercial truckers hauling essential supplies, including livestock. So that waiver subsequently was expanded to cover the delivery of livestock feed. So back in August, they also extended that waiver to November 30th. And a provision in the recently passed infrastructure bill, it's been signed into law, expands the miles that agriculture truckers can drive without hours of service restrictions. You can find more on these and other stories at agview.net. Stay with us. Emily Score from Growth Energy will join us in a few moments. The Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.com. KSGrain.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
And joining us now is Jerry Kuckelman, who is the outgoing president of the Kansas Livestock Association. Something we typically do on an annual basis is kind of get the review of the year as president. So, Jerry, congratulations. You made her through it.
I got through it, and it's been a great year. And started out, I come into the presidency in a Zoom. So I started out with Zoom. I'm going out in person. So it's great to be here and have everybody together.
I think we were able to kind of watch that all happen.
Yeah.
So it's great to be in person. A lot of folks, cattle producers, those in the industry gathered in Wichita, 600-700 numbers. So there's still great interest.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Early on, it looked like it was going to be a little bit of a lighter convention. As you've seen last night, we filled the ballroom with a great banquet. We're probably pushing 600. I don't know what the number is, but that's kind of our norm. So people come back to us, and was concerned if that would happen. Once people get out of a routine, will they come back? And they're back. So, and I think something that's helped is just what has happened in the last few weeks, just with the market. And people are a little pumped up again.
Let's talk about that, because we always like to either give credit or blame for those president of the KLA, how this market's gone. You have ended up your year as president on a very high note. Finally, these markets have recovered a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a good note. Early on in the year, some of the comments I had to make, articles I had to write, I had to defend the position of the industry. And at times you had to defend it in a way that you almost give the packer too much credit. But the storm we went through with the fire at Holcomb, Kansas in August of 2019 set the stage for a disaster when COVID hit. We was at the peak of our numbers in the industry, very, very peak of supply. And then we just had a backlog because we could not get the cattle harvested. So just one thing on top of another, and it's took most of the year to get that cycle cleaned. Really expanded high beef prices. Packer had excessive margin, and he couldn't have planned that. There was no way he could have planned it. It just worked out that way. He didn't even see that coming. But now we have to get that spread back over all segments of the industry, and that has really started to take place just in the last 6 weeks. So yes, I'm getting to go out on a good note.
And at this meeting, that's when all the work gets done. These committees are meeting, coming up with policies moving forward, and there's so many myriad of issues that have to continue to be dealt with.
Yeah, in KLA, the noise that'll be made here, and hopefully there won't be any, and I don't think there will be, has always had a policy that however you wish to market your cattle, you can freely market your cattle. And that's on our policies, on our books, and so we've defended that all year long. But we've had a segment of even our membership thinking we needed to get the government involved in our marketing issues, more cash trade, mandated type things. We see that operating right now in the whole U.S. I think that this group of people needs to understand we don't need them involved in our business. We've got this far without them, and I'm sure that mandates or something that would come down the line would not be good for this business in the future. So we're going to hear a little bit of that noise, but it's probably not going to be anything like it would have been 60 days ago.
All right, Jerry, we again appreciate. Thanks for your service to the industry, and good luck. And you can now wipe your brow and say, well, we did it. So,
we did it.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Jerry Kuckelman, who is the outgoing president of the Kansas Livestock Association, joining us. Stay with us. More in just a moment.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com. Let's visit now with Phil Perry, who is from Oskaloosa and the incoming president of the Kansas Livestock Association. Phil, congratulations. And so off you go. The next year is going to be lots going on. So let's learn a bit more about you, your family, your operation.
Okay, you bet. I'm from the northeast corner of the state, little town of Oskaloosa. Me and my wife have a cow-calf operation. In addition, we do a little bit of custom preconditioning in the fall time of the year.
All right. So what we always like to do is talk to the incoming president, kind of get the ideas and the thoughts and maybe the way you see things, and then we always like to do that follow up at the end and kind of say that everything kind of come together. So as you begin this journey, even though you've gone through the process,
yes.
Now you're going to be speaking for all those members of KLA.
Yep.
So what do you think's in store?
You know, I think maybe we've got the market kind of headed our direction. That was the big topic last year. I think that might be behind us. The market, the industry has kind of solved its own problems. Inflation, high cost of fuel, fertilizer costs are the big buzz talk right now. Obviously, environmental issues are always something that we have to keep in the crosshairs, and one thing another like that. But I think it's going to be a pretty quiet year overall.
And speaking of quiet years, at this annual meeting, you got a chance to go over the policy books and to give that team and folks like you, they're going to be out advocating for policies of KLA. Everything pretty much was a standard go, wasn't it?
It was a standard go at the meeting.
Yes.
But we had our committee meetings yesterday. There was a lot of discussion, which that's what they're for, mm-hmm. And that's for the members to bring things up and discuss. And so there was a lot of discussion. The Policy and Resolution Committee worked hard into the evening to get things, get everybody satisfied, and obviously they did. Like you say, it went smooth.
Last thing I always like to do is those agriculture leaders that come in a voluntary position and are part of an organization, give you the opportunity to make that pitch to the audience of why it's important to be a member of KLA.
Boy, I tell you what, if we don't step up and take care of our industry, somebody else will, and they may not be who we want to take care of our industry. So get involved. Take care of whatever industry you're in today. Get involved.
Okay. Phil Perry from Oskaloosa, the new president of the Kansas Livestock Association, has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more in just a few moments.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hi, I'm Greg Krisick with Kansas Corn, and today would like to share a little bit of information with you about a project working on E85 sales and promotion that Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska corn are cooperating with in California. California is where the most E85 is sold and used throughout all of the USA. And we have connected with a fuel company by the name of Pearson Fuels that currently supplies 250 stations in Southern California, basically from the Los Angeles area through south to San Diego and the border, and 250 stations, and are working with, and we hope to be working with, another 120 stations. These are relatively small franchised stations that are sometimes connected with large oil companies, but their owners, the franchisees, have the right to sell E85. And frequently in California, the E85 price is at least $1 less per gallon than their gasoline, since California has the highest gasoline prices in the United States. So we'll be working with them to facilitate getting another 120 stations. Each one of these stations tends to sell enough E85 to be the equivalent of 2,200 acres of corn grown here in our states, in Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. So it's a great market development opportunity where our ethanol plants, especially in the western Corn Belt, already supplied the fuel to California. Exciting times with E85 in California.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
All contributions are welcome this holiday season by the Kansas Wheat Commission Research Foundation. These tax-deductible donations are used to fund ongoing research programs, support students and technicians working in research fields, and maintain the technology and facilities necessary to ensure Kansas wheat farmers have a very merry harvest now and into the future. Over the past half-century, Kansas wheat farmers have contributed millions of their own hard-earned dollars towards wheat research through the Wheat Checkoff. However, the cost of research continues to increase while government funding continues to decrease. The foundation allows private individuals in all segments of the wheat industry to support wheat research through tax-deductible gifts. Aaron Harries, Kansas Wheat's Vice President of Research and Operations, said contributing to the Kansas Wheat Commission Research Foundation is investing in the future of Kansas wheat farming. Through the Research Foundation, donations from farmers, cooperatives, and corporations build on the proud history of wheat research in Kansas and play a major role in ensuring that tradition continues to provide a bright future for the next generation of Kansas wheat producers. Any gift made to the Research Foundation by June 30th qualifies to be matched dollar by dollar by a gift from the Kansas Wheat Commission up to a total of $1 million. In addition to cash donations, the Research Foundation can also accept many assets as charitable contributions, including land, grain, stocks, real estate, retirement plan disbursements, and life insurance policies. Visit fieldsforward.org to learn more about the Kansas Wheat Commission Research Foundation.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Marita Hauser has dedicated years of service to Kansas Farm Bureau and has held many positions within the organization, including being elected Kansas Farm Bureau Women's Leadership Committee Chair at the 2011 KFB Annual Meeting and serving as the Midwest Region Representative on the American Farm Bureau Women's Leadership Committee.
Marita, thank you for your years of service to Farm Bureau. You have a heart for service, and it's evident in the years you've given to our organization. Besides being the women's chairman, you've also served your Grant County Farm Bureau very well, not only as a director, but holding offices of president, vice president, safety chair, women's committee chairman. And along the way, you were a member of the Class 5 Carl program. You've also been a member of our state resolutions committee and were elected as an outstanding young farmer woman in 1988. Plus, you and Tom were honored as Farm Family of the Year in 1995. We're going to miss your leadership, but please be kind to yourself and wish you and Tom the very best in your retirement. Success to the both of you.
During her tenure on AFBF's Women's Leadership Committee, Marita has seen participation in the Women's Communication Boot Camp increase, the establishment of the DC Fly-In, and helped lead the charge of raising $400,000 within 2 years for the donation to Ronald McDonald House Charities.
Marita, it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with you. Working alongside you, I have gained so much insight into not only you, but the people that you work with. Your love for people is admirable, and your love for agriculture is just as great. You are a true servant leader that actually puts herself into everything that she does. You are an all-in kind of girl, and I appreciate that about you. Working with you has shown me your compassionate side and how you're always in it for the best of someone else. I wish you all the best, and I am very thankful to have served on a team together with you.
When Marita isn't volunteering with Farm Bureau, you can find her serving her community as the director of the Grant County Chamber of Commerce, member of the Board of Directors for the Grant County Bank, and being communion minister in the Mary Queen of Peace Church. We wish Marita and her husband Tom continued success and know they are both looking forward to spending time with their 4 children and grandchildren.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
An increasing demand for beef coupled with a tighter cattle supply is leading to better balance within the industry, which should result in higher prices for the cow-calf, stocker feeder, and fed cattle segments, CattleFact's Chief Executive Officer Randy Block told those in attendance at the 2021 KLA convention held this month in Wichita. Block predicted calf prices will average on top of $200 per hundredweight in 2022, while feeder prices will average from $165 per hundredweight to $175 per hundredweight for the year, with a range of $155 per hundredweight to $185 per hundredweight. He said for those in the stocker business selling cattle off the Flint Hills, by the time we reach that time of year, he expects live feeder prices to be trading in the mid-180s. For those in the cow-calf business, he foresees calf prices getting back up to the mid-250s over the next 2 to 3 years. As far as fed cattle go, Block said prices are expected to average from $138 per hundredweight to $140 per hundredweight in 2022, with prices approaching a high of $150 per hundredweight at some point in the spring and pushing up to $160 per hundredweight in the fall.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Mitch Dewar here with Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom. Omicron fears have eased. We saw both the stock market and crude oil bounce back from a rather large sell-off. There are still a lot of unknowns about the variant, but markets felt comfortable enough to move off the lows and back to a familiar trading range. The grain markets felt the pressure from the variant and the outside markets, as we saw a couple of large down days. As did crude in the stock markets. Once some time passed and fears eased, corn and soybeans were able to move back to levels before the variant. After South America's great start to the planting and growing season, dryness has started to creep into southern Brazil, and especially in Argentina. It's still early in the year, but as we move down the calendar, the trade will be looking harder at South America's weather and crop conditions. Wheat has continued to be volatile and is off its new 8-year high put in the day before Thanksgiving. The trade continues to process all the headlines the wheat market has to trade. Bulls are looking at the dryness here in North America, along with rising tensions with Russia and Ukraine. The bears are looking at the global weather as it seems to be improving, along with weak U.S. export demand. As a wheat producer, this is an ideal time to analyze your position on both old crop and new crop wheat, looking at both your downside and upside risk in the following months and being prepared for a violent swing in either direction. The cash live cattle market has continued to strengthen. Cash continues to be premium to futures. Futures should look to follow the cash trade as we enter the end of the year, along with a couple weeks of shortened kill due to the holidays. Futures are also watching the demand side as we continue to see boxed beef slip during a typical seasonal holiday rally. If you would like to discuss the markets or look at a marketing plan for your operation, give us a call at 888-452-8751. I'm Mitch Dewar with Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom.
That's our show this week. Be social with us at KansasAgReport.net or our social media channels. Next week, we sit down with Kansas Farm Bureau President Rich Feltz. I'm Ken Rogers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.